Welcome to Beyond Normal Days. I'm your host, Guillermo. This is episode 11, and for this month's guest, I sat down with Oddio J. Representing the Stealth Nights crew, Oddio J is a Los Angeles native and DJ who has been involved with electronic music since the mid-90s. Someone who has been in the scene for this long has seen it evolve to what it is today. In the interview, I asked him about the time he got introduced to house and techno, and to elaborate about the hard house era in Los Angeles. We get to learn about his party crew, Good Times Productions, and about other crews throwing parties back then. Throughout the interview, Oddio J explains how he solidified his space as a DJ within the LA techno community, and his progression in playing bigger parties with bigger artists on the bill. The mix for this episode was curated by Oddio J himself, and features a vast selection of techno cuts. Make sure to tune in to his radio show Distant Rumble, which is featured on UK's Fnoob Techno Radio. The show airs every month and features him and other DJs throwing it down on the decks. Make sure to follow Oddio J on social media. You can find him on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all that at Oddio J, spelled O-D-D-I-O space J. Also, don't forget to follow Beyond Normal on Twitter at BeyondNormal_, and both on Instagram and Facebook at Beyond Normal Official. Thank you all for listening. And now please welcome Oddio J.
Keep on dancing.
This is Beyond Normal Days, everybody. I'm here with Oddio J. Welcome, man. How's it going?
What's up, man? I'm doing great.
Thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
No, man, it's a pleasure. As we were just talking before we went live, you know, everybody has a cool experience and perspective on this electronic music scene, and you're a LA native. So, but let's tell the listeners, you know, specifically where you're from, Los Angeles.
Born and raised San Gabriel Valley.
SGV.
Yeah, SGV.
Represent
626.
Oh, so 66.
Actually, we're 818, and then they changed it on us.
Oh,
people were not happy about that.
I have seen 818, so that does look familiar. That's funny because in Keenan, we had his episode. I think when he said he's like, I'm from Whittier, and I think he said the zip code. So it's cool to like actually when I see these zip codes and I really don't know, I'm like, okay, that's a Los Angeles zip code, but I don't know specifically what part of LA. So pretty cool. 626, 818. Yeah. Either or, I think, right?
818.
All right. So, but you know, we're doing this episode, you know, get to know you a little bit more. I know you from the underground scene. You know, we're both DJs. And through conversations at parties and raves and other stuff, so I've gotten to see that, or gotten the perspective that you've seen this scene change, and you've been in it for a cool minute, and and I want to know how you just got into it, you know. But before we hear you experience specifically all the nitty gritty stuff of you and the scene, how was your upbringing? You know, like how was it just growing up in the SGV?
Upbringing was good, you know. School was okay. I mean, I was okay student up until high school.
Oh, okay. Were you
and the music got me.
Were you raving or were you partying or like DJing?
No,
because that's different. I know I always want to put together that, you know, partying and DJing is together, but not really, you know. You know, that's different stuff. You know, they can all combine, you know, and intersect at one point, but
early on my mom wouldn't let me go anywhere. Like, and my friends used to make fun of it. So if they actually see me at a party, they'd be like, "Oh, did you get the parent permission slip signed?" And I'd be like, "Fuck you guys." So, but
that's a common story. You know, a lot of people kind of get me. You know, I'm telling you, I always kind of see it was towards the ending of high school where you know, I think I experienced, you know, electronic music, house parties, and everything as well too. But but more than anything, I read online that you were introduced to, you know, U.S. Hard House and Techno at, I think, was it a late night radio show on Power Tools?
Yeah, Power Tools. That was the show.
Were you in high school at this time?
Yeah, it was probably the end of, I'd say, junior high, freshman year at high school.
Okay. So and why were you listening to the show? You know, like tell us about that experience. You know, that moment of.
I can't remember how I found it, but it was like summer of '94 into '95. I was going to one high school that I actually got kicked out of. And then I ended up at Azusa High School. Had I not ended up there, I'm not sure that I would have found the music, or I might have found it later.
Really?
But once I got there, it was like, got into a party crew around that time and began DJing in 95.
And
95.
But don't skip it. Why'd you get kicked out of that high school?
Got caught with weed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
They made a big deal of it too. Like they actually the police.
Well, because right now I'm be like, what? Everybody's like, what? But like, you know, you said 94, 95.
95. So. The police came to the high school. They actually handcuffed me, put a jacket over the handcuffs, and waited till everybody was back in class, and took me to a substation.
Damn, that's almost some crazy. Like this guy is. Dude.
It gets funnier. Because I was sitting there waiting for my mom to pick me up, and the cop's like standing right there by me. My mom walks over to him, and she just starts wailing on me. Just starts slapping the shit out of my face, like bat, 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 bat. And I'll never forget the words the cop said. He's all, "I think you got this under control." Turned around, walked away, dude. She was slapping me in front of the cop.
He said, "Peace out."
Yeah, he's like, "I think you got this under control." And he just walked away. I was like, what? Yeah, so.
Oh, damn.
That's the trouble I got. Got my door taken off for about a month from my room.
I figured I had my door taken off.
Oh, you too?
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Hey, well, that's how part of the process. That's something at least like, hey, well.
When you get caught up, that's just what happens.
Hey, at least you know you've been in the at least in the game of the weed game for a cool minute. You know, a lot of people are like, yo, you
Yeah.
know, because even that has its own history and of you know of experience as well too. People growing up with it and whatnot. But all right, so cool. So you know, little rebel.
Yeah.
And so you went to Azusa High School after that.
Yeah.
And that's when you experienced or you got introduced to electronic music. You know.
Yeah, it was a little bit prior to that, but that's when I was fully like in it, because
Yeah.
my older brother, he was also in a party crew,
Ooh.
and he had friends that were still going to that high school, and he made sure they looked after me and everything. So
Oh,
I
that's
kind
tight.
of ran
That's
with
sick.
them,
Okay.
and then I found other new friends that were there, and they were starting a party crew, and I became like the original member of that party crew. We were called Good Times Productions.
Oh, sick. That's tight. That is so sick. And that's cool because I was going to even ask you too if any of your family members were into, you know, electronic music or
Yeah,
in this case raving
brother,
or
yeah.
well, were you raving? Was that would you consider it that like, you know, the first moments of I guess going to house parties or that or I guess embracing the community of the electronic music, would you be I guess were you introduced to raving first or
I was
anything like
introduced
that?
more so on being introduced to the music, but not actually going out to the raves, because back then getting rides to anywhere like going to downtown from where I was is a pain.
Yeah.
So and then I got into the whole party crew thing, and that became my whole focus on what I was doing week in, week out.
I believe his name is Rick Klotz. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, but I know it's Rick, and he's the guy the CEO of Fresh Jives. And I think he mentioned about too sometimes, you know, not having a ride to that specific area where they're throwing a party. So sometimes, you know, everybody stayed local, and that's what I think I asked you like earlier. Like you know, I think the scene was more local. Everybody partied around their area or their surroundings and stuff like that. Their homies or something across the street or something. Not across the street, you know, but you know what I'm saying, same neighborhoods or, you know. And but how was that? How was that community? How was that communal feeling?
It was good. There were a lot of party crews in the San Gabriel Valley area, and you know everybody was doing something every single weekend. And in my crew, we were arguably one of the best crews. Like we were throwing the best parties, like packed 200-300 heads. Like later on, a lot more Nas tanks. We'd have cakes, and it's crazy at that time to get into these parties. It was like $2, $3.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
And so Good Times Productions.
Yeah, Good Times Production.
And can you name some other like party crews that were pretty cool around that time?
I mean, between like 95 and 99, I'd been in a few different crews. I was in another crew called Doomsday, and they're actually older than, they were actually like earlier,
before your time?
mid 90s, yeah, before my time. And then my friend at the time, Doom, rest in peace, he wanted to start it back up, so I became in his crew.
Oh damn, that's sick. That's sick. So you
Yeah, I was in a DJ crew, Pitch Control Productions, PCP.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my.
it's dope, right?
That's
It's dope.
tight. That's sick. That's
PCP,
sick.
Pitch Control Productions. Yeah, it was an all DJ crew.
That's sick. That's you know, I'm guessing like it's more common now to see DJ collectives.
Yeah.
That's what they call it now. But
Yeah.
what I was gonna say, do you still keep in contact with some of the people that you know?
Some of the people from Good Times, yeah, we have like our own. Me and my friend, we started like our own Good Times group page for the members. You know, add members.
Just keep in
just
touch
kind of
and
keep
everything.
in contact. There's been talk of maybe doing something, or just like for the members, or throwing a little party or something. Everybody get back together, but it just hasn't come to fruition, not yet. So
That's sick. That's
but I run into them every once in a while when I get my hair cut.
Oh,
I run into like
I was
one of my
say,
friends.
at the underground
and,
still some parties or no? Do you still run into
I still run into them, but it's like outside, like yeah, I'm getting my hair cut. Oh, what's up, dude? I've seen you.
That's sick. That's
I
tight.
got kids and everything. So
Yeah. What about you?
no kids.
Same.
I'm married to Techno.
Same. No, well, like yeah, but yeah, that's a different topic. You know what I'm saying? But not right now. No disrespect, but what kind of music was being played at these parties?
At the house parties, it was
like,
mainly domestic hard house.
And we say
underground
domestic is United
construction.
States, U.S. hard house.
Yeah, Aqua Boogie Underground Constructions, IHR International House Records out of Chicago. Yeah, mainly a lot of U.S. Domestic hard house, and I would I was also playing I was playing that, but I was also playing and buying techno at the time too.
Mm-hmm.
So in my sets, I would drop some techno, maybe 1 or 2 tracks within my hard house set, because I like techno.
True.
But I couldn't just like go on the play the next 20 minutes of techno, because they want to hear the banging hard house, booty shake and stuff. So I would pepper it in there and get it in there, and and then throw like a hard house track right after that techno track.
And how would people react to those times that you would like slip in that little?
Good. I get away with it. I wouldn't get anybody telling me to get off or anything, but yeah.
Would there be a chance or that possibility of telling you like, hey, you're gonna have to like maybe the promoter or somebody going up to you and be like, hey, you have to
More so if you were, for people that were trying to play like deep house, I'm talking like 124. There were people. I have a friend, I'm not gonna say his name. He would go to the hard house parties, and he'd be there. He's a DJ too, and everybody be playing banging hard house, DJ after DJ, and he would get in there and he'd drop like a 125 house set. And then I get the promoters like, hey dude, get him off. Like he's killing the crowd. Like people are leaving. So I'm not even gonna say his name. I mean, much respect to him though. He's been doing it longer than I have. He's older than me, so
yeah. Is he still DJing right now still?
Yeah, he's here and there. Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay. Yeah, I used to have promoters like, dude, get him off.
Hey man, I guess. Damn,
he's putting the crowd to sleep.
Not to name, but I think that happened to one of our homies recently. Oh, no. But in his case, he was playing too hard.
You gotta play appropriately for what's being played. Like if I'm going to a techno show and you're gonna drop a house set, guess what? You probably should get off. Like there's nothing wrong with mixing it in with the genre, set, but like if you're gonna straight go all house set and it's a techno night, you're gonna scratch your head and go, what are you doing?
True, that's true. That's
play appropriately
true.
For the set.
That's something that I also agree as well too. Like when people ask me, so like people who are not really or familiarized with the scene or the underground scene or just electronic music, and I'm referring to people like I meet at work or my coworkers,
the top 40 crowd,
or in a sense like not even the top 40 because they're pretty open minded, but when it's or just even people around my job or just work area, but let
me guess, their favorite label is Drum Code.
No, not even. They don't even know that much as well too, like in that type of sense. So I don't even know what I was saying, to be honest, man. I'm so sorry. What was I saying?
Yeah, sorry. Drum Code pre-2000.
Ah, damn it.
Fire.
Right?
No,
I got stuff on vinyl. Like it's completely different than what Drum Code of today.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. Do you remember, like, when you got into techno, what was Drum Code? Was it a label?
Yeah, Drum Code was Adam Bayer's label, and the stuff coming out of there was fire and fast and hard. Nothing. It's completely 180 difference than what it is today.
So, do you remember when Laid Back Luke was playing techno sets?
I think I missed that. I think I missed when he was playing techno.
Because that was the thing. I remember several years ago come to find out that happened.
I think it's cool that he's doing it now. Like he'll do an all techno night. I have no problem with him. Like he's got legit actual from a DJ standpoint, actual DJ skills. Like if he wanted to do an all vinyl set, he could do it. And he'd probably do it pretty damn good.
Yeah,
so
I think I've seen some of his videos.
I kind of like Laid Back Luke, not as commercial stuff, but like when he does techno or stuff
as
like that.
As an artist,
Like, I've seen him play techno before. Like he's played like some old 92 bangers, and I'm like, damn, these people don't understand. Like it was at Crush when I was at an Insomniac Crush Valentine's Day party.
Whoa, that's kind of like
92 banger real quick. I'm like, I'm the only person that knows this song, and these people like normals.
I mean, that's the crazy thing for me because when I got into electronic music. Laid Back Luke was what's his Laid Back Luke, not the techno or house. In a sense, it was just his more commercialized or more modern main stage sets. So then, but he was dope. He was one of my favorites as well too. And then as more got into it, and then I'm not sure who was it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Elijah or somebody, or I saw a video and then I mentioned to Elijah and you were like, yeah, dude, he used to play techno or stuff like that. I'm like, oh damn, okay, that's cool. And like and it makes sense, because they've been in a long run as well too. So, and let's talk about the hard house. Well, we were talking about the hard house era as well too. was Hard House being played at the Masterdome
At the Masterdome.
in San Bernardino? Because I didn't know about the Masterdome.
The times I had been to the Masterdome, it was more rave, like
ravey type.
yeah, ravey music, more, I guess, some techno, some trance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I don't recall anyone ever playing hard house at one of those Masterdomes. Because I used to go with my friend. We used to go late night to do flyer runs. We'd pick up like 10,000 flyers, multiple boxes, and drop them off at the Masterdome.
Event. And like, would you guys pass them out like after the event?
No, we were just basically dropping them off to the promoters out there. So we were bringing in boxes, 10,000 flyers.
Whoa! And
just like throw them in the back of his SUV.
Yeah.
Drop them off, hang out, collect the cash for the flyers, and then we stay there for a little bit and then bounce.
That's sick. And let's talk about a little bit more about that. Like, how was the relationship, with promoters and I guess the street team? There was no digit. I mean, like, was there internet stuff? Or forums? I'm guessing people would go into forums, to find out about stuff. But at this time, I get for sure it was more flyers and not word of mouth, but of course the map points.
This might be pre MySpace. Like, what year did MySpace come out?
Damn, I don't know.
Early 2000s. Yeah, I think it was pre MySpace. So everything was still, more flyer based. Passing out flyers to people.
And
which I kind of miss. I mean.
Well,
because with Facebook, like, even if you don't promote it and pay for it to get promoted, like 21 people will see it.
Yeah.
If you post an event, and
Yeah.
you either have to send out and have people send out invites for you, because it's just gonna get like lost in the shuffle.
The algorithm.
Everybody throwing events, yeah.
That's what I felt about
That's
Facebook.
That's why I miss, like hard flyers. Like,
it was like
here's
more
a flyer
direct
to my event. Here's my flyer.
That's how they say sometimes you get the right crowd that you want, is because sometimes they take a flyer and sometimes they don't. And filters out sometimes. Yeah,
I felt like I use Facebook to, I guess, like a mini, like a bootleg version of Resident Advisor for events.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where I see like any event that's gonna be any party or something as well too. But that's a different thing. But when you were doing the Masterdome, like, talk about those nights or that era of the Masterdome, because I know it doesn't exist. And it's funny because when you told me about the Masterdome, I'm like, oh, no, I don't know what it is. I think the next day I go on Google and check it out, and I see that it was a location in San Bernardino. So I'm from San Bernardino, so, and I always get surprised that that the Inland Empire has a good history of rave, rave history.
I think I had only been there maybe actually 4 times. 3 of them were to, drop flyers off. I remember one of those times we were actually trapped inside because the cops were outside, and the people inside wouldn't. They're like, "Don't go outside, don't go outside." Just wait till the cops leave. And there was something going on in the street, like between some people and the cops or whatever, so we couldn't leave for just a short bit of time.
Damn.
That was one time. And then there was the time that my friend actually got me to play there.
Oh, okay.
I got a 30-minute set and I dropped techno.
Hey, really? All 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Hey,
it was fun.
That's sick. And
I remember watching the crowd, because the dance floor was like sunk in, so it was like step, and then there's the dance floor.
Oh, that's Gotham was like that.
Gotham was like steps.
Yeah.
And then the dance floor would be like kind of rectangular shape, and it would be more sunken in. So people on sides can see. You need to have a lot of space, but you still
like a little. You can see maybe people down a little bit. Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice. I remember dropping that set, and I remember I only lost one person on the floor. Like they walked off, and I was like, all right, cool. And everybody else played my 30-minute set. I was happy, like, brought my freaking box of records, and my friend got me like a short little set.
And what age was that?
Shit. Maybe 17.
Yeah.
Wait, you were 17?
Maybe 17, 18.
Hey, damn, that's sick. And then you were mixing vinyl, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, vinyl. That's who you started off.
Then, yeah.
And I'm gonna say, you had a little bit more stories of. I think when we're off recording, you saw somebody bring a Uzi to a party.
Oh yeah,
So what was that? Was that part of the house hard house era?
That was that was a hard house era. It was a backyard boogie, and
with the Uzi.
Yeah, there was a lot of. Back then, a lot of the guys that were in some of these party crews, they straight up dressed like like you couldn't distinguish them between a cholo and your homie. Like they wore big jerseys with, you know, with the area code on their shirt and the crew name on it and everything. Like I'm talking like a Dodger
with the
jersey.
area code.
Yeah, with it like 818 on the back. Boom, like huge, like 6-inch letter, you know, 6-inch numbers. And so I got to that party. I remember I got there and I walked in the back and I'm like, oh, this shit seems tense. Like they're playing Hard House and people are like standing around drinking, whatnot. But I remember seeing like there's a couple of homies over here, these straight up looking gangsters, and there were some others over here. They were like across from the party, and they're just mad dogging each other, like staring each other down. And I remember this one little guy, he lifted up his shirt, and he pulled out an Uzi, and then he passed it to his homie, and his homie put it away. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, where am I at? What's going on here?
Like,
I just seen an Uzi.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like dance. Listen to some Hard House. Yeah, what's good?
I was like, okay. And everybody kind of had the sense of feeling like, you know, some shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it did. Like,
it did.
This one dude went up to this other dude. He just pulled a gun, put it right to his face. I thought he was gonna blast him right there, like boom, dead. Done.
Damn, son.
He didn't. Like everybody seen him pull the gun and put it to his face, and everybody just like
started running.
People were jumping the fence and going into the next yard, and everybody ducked. Well, while that was happening, he pistol whipped him. He like beat him with the freaking gun, and that fool was like laid up on the ground bleeding and everything, and everybody's just kind of scattered, like, you know, get the hell out of there. They had to call to the ambulance had to come to that one. And my friend was like, he had some like EMT like experience, so he's like trying to help the dude. He elevated his legs.
Damn.
And yeah, the ambulance came and took that dude away, but he didn't get shot though. He just got really fucked up.
Yeah, damn, dude. But still, everybody like, you know, instantly knew right when that, you know, the gun came out, like, peace out.
Yeah,
dude. The only experience that I've kind of had, like, and I guess because for my experience of, I guess, electronic music and house parties, because that's what was the main thing that I was involved when I got into DJing, or when I learned how to DJ and mix and whatever. But we got to a party, we got invited, and I remember when we got there, it was like several. It was kind of funny because we had brought our own DJ set, our coffin with our turntables and Serato and everything as well too. But when we got there was already like two setups in a weird sense. Like somebody had a controller, somebody else had another mixer, something, whatever. So everybody was having turns, whatever. But when we got there, you can tell that we were like the outsiders. Yeah. But we set up and everything, and there was different DJs, and they're like, oh, okay, you guys have cool setups and everything. But the beef wasn't even between the DJs, whatever. But I was just kind of like getting the vibe of, you know, because I guess we were Rialto DJs, even though we lived in North Fontana, but when the party was in Fontana. Mm-hmm. But we DJ'd, we did our set, and we bounced right after. And we said bye to our friends, whatever. And the next day we find out that somebody got shot, or I think shot or stabbed or something. And the cops came, and they didn't leave it. They didn't leave. I mean, they didn't let anybody leave. You know, like out of the party. They sat everybody at the sidewalk, you know, and everything. So we were like, damn, dude, imagine if we stayed there for like another hour or whatever.
Yeah, I was at another. Situation kind of like that, but it happened while I was there. It was crazy. Like, I DJed this party in Baldwin Park. Like, I provided sound, the turntables, mixer, speakers, all that. Yeah. So I remember there was this guy. I remember being behind the decks, and there was this young dude, and he had a beanie on with the bud leaf. They think nothing. He's standing in front, he's like chilling, like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Well, probably like 15 minutes later, down the street about a block over, him and his friends got lit up, like they fucking got blasted on, and that kid, he died. I had just seen him like 15 minutes before, grooving, alive, dancing, standing in front, with his home, got shot down the street and killed. And some other dude that was with him, I think he's the only one that died, and there was another guy with him, so he gets shot. The other guy that was there with him or around him, like, took off running back to the party. He came back into the party, into the house, and he was just like clutching his stomach, like. Oh, cause he didn't get shot though.
But he witnessed it. He saw.
Yeah, I think they hit him with some bats or pipes or something to the stomach, because he clutched his stomach and then he fell to the ground in the house. Yeah. And that was it. Like, cops, party, helicopter, everything. They didn't want to let me leave with my system too.
Oh.
And my dad had dropped me off.
Damn.
So my dad had to pick me up.
So your dad, did he come? Did he see all the?
He picked me up and he seen all this shit going on, and
what the
I
hell?
had to like plead with, you know,
The-
I've had to do that a couple times.
The cops like, yo, let me.
Like
I'm trying to
the
go
cop,
home.
like, dude, I'll be out in 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll get out of your way. You know.
Yeah.
All right, hurry up. Just hurry up.
That's cool though.
Throwing
Damn.
shit in the SUV.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Make it in 5
Yeah.
minutes.
That's-
I remember when I first like you started like DJing, throwing house parties. I remember some of the scares that people would say was that if you get shut down, the DJ can get his equipment taken away or her equipment away.
I
Did
mean,
you
there
ever
was
experience
there
or
was
be-
always the threat of that, but
Did that ever really
I
happen?
always seemed to be very lucky in that they
Yeah.
they would always let me leave with my system, and they never tried taking it, and they never tried giving me a ticket or anything like that.
Okay, so in our
So
situation,
but it had happened like to some people.
Yeah, in our situations, I think the cop would come in, give us
Yeah.
that warning, like, hey, lower it down.
Yeah.
If I have to come back, it's shut down. That's it, and then for the most part,
here's how the parties would end. Like when I was providing system, I'd ask the
well,
promoter.
that's actually if it was like a little family house party, because the actual house parties, if they were
Mhm.
getting shut down, I think they would actually get shut down. I don't know, because there was one Halloween party and that got shut down for sure. That one got shut down for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But-
Well, this is what I would do. Like, I would ask my friend or whoever was at the door, the promoter, and be like, "Well, what'd they say?" Oh, they said, "Turn it down. If they come back one more time, they're gonna take this." Once they said they're gonna take the sound system, they come back. I was like, "I'm all right. We're done.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it."
Yeah, because you can't be.
I'm not gonna take my
risk
chance
yourself.
of getting
Yeah.
my sound,
Yeah, big time. big time.
impounded. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, and then I'm guessing at that time the turntables were available. Like you can buy a pair
Oh, yeah,
of
readily,
MK
yeah.
1200s. Because right now, you can buy some, but they're not the.
They're gonna be over $1,000 or more each. Like if you're buying the new models that are coming out. The old models back then, the first set of 1200s I ever got, each one was $389 each.
What?
Yeah.
Dang, let's go right now.
This is you got a time machine? Let's go let's go get some.
Oh,
This is
400.
this is 95. May 18th, 1995 is the day I got my sound. Happiest day. I still have the receipt to that, by
Are
the
you
way.
being serious? That's
Like,
sick.
I kept
That's
that
sick.
shit. I still
That's
have it in
tight. That's
storage.
tight. Did you,
Yeah.
at that time? Did you ever, or the idea of like the turntables being discontinued and not being in production was that ever a thought within the community?
No, because it was all vinyl, and then like CDJs started popping up. Well, their version of CDJs. I mean, people still mixed on those long 19-inch rack modules, like by Newmark and some of the companies that were putting them out. But that was just like you couldn't take that out, like unless you were actually doing the party and you wanted to play CDs. That was more for mobile DJing type people. So.
Okay, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so I'm guessing when you were DJing, was it mostly a party that you guys were throwing with your party crew?
I'd probably say. Excuse me.
Because I was gonna ask, like, what was the setup? For the most part, it was, I'm
Probably
guessing.
about 85% of the time, yeah. I was
Yeah.
usually doing the parties.
Okay.
And the other times I was just going. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, when we were talking about you playing techno at the Masterdome, what was the reception like for techno worldwide? Like right now we can pinpoint and see what the interest of techno is,
Yeah.
across the world. How do you describe it at that time?
I mean, for the most part, techno and electronic music in general has always been bigger everywhere but here, which is, I mean, you look to the Detroit techno guys, the Saundersons, the Jeff Mills, Derek May, like
The
that. Their
Underground
stuff was
Resistance,
like,
yeah.
their stuff and a lot of stuff from here. It was always bigger elsewhere.
Yeah. And I think that's the
Which is completely
misconception.
weird, like, especially even today, like, you got people moving elsewhere
Yeah.
and then getting big elsewhere because, like, America's just, it's so big to, break into and, like, become, like, huge. I mean, you have your EDM, you have all that stuff that, that's cracking off in the U.S., but it's, like, techno, it's, some cities it's not like here it is in LA. Maybe they have someone that throws an event once a month, but yeah, it's bigger. It's always been bigger worldwide.
And I think when I saw it was a Red Bull Academy conference with, I think it was Mike Banks from Underground Resistance, and I forgot her name is, but she's from Tresor. And they were talking about when Jeff Mills and some of the Underground Resistance guys were, putting these records out. I think the reception in Berlin was more, how you said, it was more like, in the sense of more received properly, or I guess more popular. So I feel like that's why people have the misconception that electronic music or techno started in Europe or something. Like, no, it was in Detroit. They just, I think, adopted it a little bit more quicker, or received it more quicker, or
yeah, they just received it quicker. They just took it in more quicker. I mean, they've always been ahead of us in, like, events. You look into the events now, on the scale in which they're doing them, and production wise and event lineup, and you're like, wow, like, why isn't anybody doing it like here in the West Coast, or
big time,
even New York? But no, I mean, you get the crazy big events in Germany and all over Netherlands, and ADE and all those, and you're just like, why isn't anybody doing that here? It's like
Elijah and I got to experience ADE last year, and that was one of the things that we saw that to them
to them it's another Saturday.
Exactly. Like, the lineup is just kind of like,
if we've never been there, we're like, wow, what the hell?
I remember, I think I was waiting for you in the restroom, Elijah, and I was looking at the lineup kind of thing. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And I think I was talking to the guy, and he was like, I told him, like, for the most part, like, because he said, you guys don't get these type of artists, huh? I'm like, not like all,
not all at once.
Like in once,
like,
like, we'll get them once in a while, 2 at a time, or one something, here, whatever, here and there, but not like this, like boom, 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 right there, all like, together at once.
Heavy hitter after heavy hitter,
And I think I've talked to Marco from Synthetic Minds and 6 a.m. and he said that as well too. I think that was his inspiration, going to ADE and just kind of wanting to throw caliber events, or that type of caliber events over here.
It's probably a lot easier for them to do it now that they have the the agency.
The deviation agency. Yeah, that is sick. Yeah, since they already represent the. Yeah, that was sick. And at this time, being involved, when you decided to be involved, like, with the techno community in LA specifically, how was that? The Droid guys were already, I think. Yeah, correct?
Droid. I probably got into Droid maybe. I found them maybe 2 hours after 2 hours. 2 years after they had started. But for the most part, like, I've been there for the beginning of them throwing events, and they were taking risk and taking chances, because it isn't like it is now, where, like, mad heads show up and you're like, whoa, like, they had to work a little bit harder. But they made it. Without them, it wouldn't be the way it is today. Like, they paved the way. Droid, definitely. And there were other crews that were putting work too. A crew called Deeper Moods.
Oh, okay.
You had a guy named Rob Tronic. He was throwing these compression nights. It was one of the first times I ever seen Derek May play. Whoa. Who was fucking just amazing, dude. He was using everything. We're talking CDJs, vinyl, everything.
What the?
He was like on point. And he's coming, by the way.
Oh yeah,
excited about that one.
For Compound, right?
Compound, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we saw. Derek May. Yeah, I haven't seen him solo. Is it the Bellevue 3?
The Bellevue 3 is him, Saunderson, and oh my god, what's the third one? I'm forgetting the third one.
Juan
Atkins.
Wait, is it?
Is it?
It might be.
Maybe.
Oh my god. I'm gonna get roasted for this one from my friends that are in Detroit. How do you not know the Belleville 3? I'm like, I forgot.
No, but Derek May for sure is one of them. So, but I saw them for I think an after hours Detroit 2 years ago, whatever it was when we went. But and I guess, would you say, like, each year as went by, was techno, or the techno community growing, or
it's grown?
I've heard also that it fluctuates, or
it does, because like there were,
or the reception or the liking of techno will grow, fade in, grow.
I mean, that kind of happens with everything, but then who, when that happens, you really know who's in it.
Facts
for the techno,
true.
And who's
part of the trend.
Just part of the trend.
I was say facade.
Like, let's go to a techno show. No, you'll when it ebbs and flows, and then you'll find out who's really down for it. so to speak. Because there were a time when, like, you know, parties did get busted a lot more, and when that would happen, it would kind of like, you know, it was hot for a little bit with the cops busting shows and stuff, and then it would like kind of taper off and it chill out, and then it start coming back up again, and people were throwing events.
Yeah.
So it's just a cycle. It goes through it. I mean,
because I've seen or not seen, I've read interviews of from Drum Cell.
yeah,
And well, even when I was gonna mention this when you said how they paved the way for how, you know, the underground for Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Reading these articles from, you know, of Drum Cell, and also interviews from Drum Cell, I've noticed that how much, you know, he's done for Los Angeles, and how much he's influenced also, you know, or how much influence he has across the world.
Yeah.
You know, and it's pretty crazy, surreal. It's, you know, when we get to meet him and talk to him, because I'm like, man, that's crazy. He's, you know, he's so cool. You know, all these people like in Los Angeles as well, to always forget that like LA is a dope hub, you know, like of so many people, you know, like so many creatives and everything. And of course, you know, people can get lost here and there, but I forget that we're like, you know, we're so close to the city, and I guess the representatives of LA techno, you know, are dope worldwide as well too, you know. So it's cool to meet them and have these people around right here as well too, and somebody like you that's seen them grow as well too. That's got to be like a dope experience.
It's a
as
trip.
well too.
I mean, you got Drum Cell playing everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing like Truncate played I think he played the Great Wall of China. He played China
recently.
And no, this was a little while back, but I was just like, what? Like China? Oh shit! Like damn, dude.
I was gonna say
yeah, much respect to those dudes.
Do you produce music?
I did briefly in like 2007, 2008. Some of it actually got released on a digital platform similar to Beatport. It's called Beats Digital. Oh, they're defunct now. They went out of business maybe, I don't know, a year or two after I started. I was releasing stuff to them. So somewhere out there, there's
some Oddio J.
I'm owed some money somewhere. I know some it's royalties. Not a lot. Yeah. Hey, so someone out there actually probably bought my track. So
when was it released?
This would have been like 2008. Yeah.
So if somebody could make the math,
I mean, I dabble with producing. I did it for a little bit, and then my computer like just died. Hard drive died. Like lost everything. All the tracks, all the stems, all the samples and things that I had used, and I was just like kind of it was cool.
And I just went back to my producing. DJing. Huh? Like what were you using for producing? Like,
oh, back then, Sony Acid Studio.
What is that?
See, what is that? It was
I probably sound like a noob,
it was their version. No, their Sony Acid Pro, which is, you know, it's
dude, it was called Sony Acid Pro.
Yeah, it was you know, like Ableton is like as a DAW.
Yeah, but like
making music,
because it kind of sounds like a VST. If you think about it, like in a Sony Acid Pro or something.
So it's a Sony Movie Studio version 6.
That's lit. Okay. And let's talk about like, I guess, more about your DJing. So you said, you know, no producing, so you started focusing more on your DJing and your stuff. How did you keep getting involved more with the, you know, techno community in Los Angeles with your, you know, getting gigs or, you know,
just, you know, it's just
networking. You know, people talk about.
It's networking, but I mean, it's like going out to the parties. But I mean, I love the music, so I'm gonna go to the party regardless of whether I'm like talking to people like, hey, you know, can you book me? Da da da. Like, I've never really done any of that. Like, you know, I've had people come to me and like, hey, I want you to play, and I'm like, oh shit, like
that's sick.
When Incognito first asked me to play for them, I was just like hell yeah.
Was that with the Tap Kyle?
No,
that was beforehand.
That was that was the second gig I played for them. The first one was in Marcel Fengler.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, when was that?
Ooh,
was that in
2017? I think it was.
Was it in August?
I think we were there.
I know, that's what I'm trying to like figure it out. I was trying to say, I'm like, because it was for my birthday celebration. I know.
I can't remember. I'd have to look it.
Was it in summer? Like, do you remember like the season?
I think it might have been summer.
Because we went to see Marcel Flanger for my one of my birthdays.
Super nice guy too, by the way. Yeah. I'm gonna switch over. He's really
sick. And shout out that you actually helped us I want to say us, Elijah and I, third project. Yeah, next month the mix comes out. I think you're the only one that's gotten to listen to it.
Yeah,
I
have.
That is gonna be the mix.
Yeah, I think well, if not, it's announcing that next
Just
month.
Just the three of us and everyone in attendance.
For real. It was dope. So thank you for helping us record that set.
Oh, no worries.
It was amazing. So and it was a good timestamp. So it was dope. And so you played for a Incognito party. So when would you consider like your first like maybe massive underground, or in front of, no, because instead of your parties, you were bringing a bunch of heads, so you already had that experience, like in DJing in front of like a big crowd.
I'd say the Incognito ones were like some of the bit more bigger crowds, or especially like legit in terms of like production wise.
Of course, yeah. Because I've also been part of, and I'm a member of Stealth Nights. Yes. We throw events too, and we brought out talent from, Croatia, DJ Ogi. Oh yes, things like that. Yeah. How did that union come about? That was a question as well too. Part of the Stealth Nights.
And I'd actually been supportive of his events before that, because I'd been to some like ghetto underground, like the little, how there'd be like a little row of shops where people do like work or like automotive work, and there's all these like slide rolling doors within the complex. Yeah. There was one in particular I went to where like it was like insanely hot. It was a roll up door. Freaking people just packed it in, and he had brought out.
Did you have to close it back down?
No, we left it. It was like more within this complex. Yeah. And that was in Long Beach, and that was a great party. He brought out a Perfitter. He's pretty dope.
Perfitter?
He's been around for a minute. And this other dude from was it Colombia? Angel Costa. And that was a great night. That was a sweaty night. Yeah. And that was like one of the earlier stealth parties I'd ever been to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's good times.
That's sick. Damn, so that's sick. So you were going to the parties before actually being part of the crew.
Yeah.
That sounds sick. Yeah. That's dope. And you got to play alongside Ed Tapcayo.
Yeah.
For Incognito party. How was that?
That was fun. That was, of my 2 times playing for them, the second time was the best. The second time
it was dope.
Yeah, it was really. I had a really.
You recorded a little bit of visual wise, right? And you posted up a video.
Yeah, I posted some videos. I got one up on my my YouTube page, and I think I have some more videos that I just never got around to putting up.
That's sick. Do you have any other memorable gigs in this past year or in the last year?
In the last year,
and like in the recent years, because do you feel like in the recent years you've gotten more like notable gigs, or becoming more established as a underground,
Yeah,
like a staple in the underground community in Los Angeles.
I'd say in the past 2 years I've had notable gigs, like the first time playing for Incognito, and the second time definitely. And
because, for example,
like 2017, like I had probably had like my most gigs like within that year.
Oh, okay. Because I remember when Elijah and I got to meet you, we were like, Jack, he's part of the some of the OGs, So I remember when I would see you at some other, because I know you knew Jack before so I remember because you were already talking to him. I think so, because I remember the time that I really had a conversation with you, like the first time, like legit, I was asking you questions. Yeah. I was litty, but we were like in a staircase. I think it was for the apartment. Oh, okay. And I think you had, one of your techniques, your custom techniques shirts, and
Techno for an answer.
Yeah, stuff like for example, I think it was that one, and I think I asked you about it. I'm like, yo, sick shirt, and then we just started talking about techniques. I told you that I have some, and I said something about having mine untuned, and something like that, But more like that, we were just talking about that. So that was the first time, and I remember coming to find out that you were like, you actually DJ'd, and you were known to be a DJ in the underground scene, in Los Angeles and everything. So I was like, oh shit, sick, lady. And you also host a radio show on Fnoob Techno Radio.
Yeah, it's Distant Rumble. Yeah, airs every 3-4 weeks. So it's always at the end of the month usually. Okay. Yeah, it's on a Wednesday.
And how did that connection come about with Fnoob?
Oh, because one of my friends, he's a DJ. He was doing a podcast with another buddy of his. That like it was kind of their show, and my friend asked me, he's like, "Hey, you wanna do a podcast with me? Like we'll both go back to back and do the podcast for an hour." I was like, "Sure." So I did that, and his buddy, who's I guess it was really more his show. He hit me up. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "You want to do your own show?"
Yeah,
I was like, "Hell yeah!"
That's sick.
So, yeah, he's like, "Okay, you want an hour, 2 hours?" That's been like 3 years ago. So I've been doing it ever since.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll just feature different DJs. You know,
I've seen that.
doing a podcast, or I'll do it myself, or yeah.
Oh man, that's cool. That's honestly, for some reason, I didn't know you had it. Doing it for that long.
Yeah, it's been about 3 years now.
And why Distant Rumble, the name? Elaborate a little bit on that.
Because I had thought about this like when I had to think of a name for a show. Distant Rumble to me is like when you're driving out, to go to an underground, and whether it be you're going to a warehouse party or you're driving out in the desert, you're listening for that distant rumble. That low bass, that low bass sound hitting somewhere off in the distance. Like
where they at though? Like you're looking at them. You're like, no, you're trying to hear. I know. Yeah, that's
be
perfect.
out in the desert and like
sick.
you're listening to music. I don't know why turning off the music makes you think you're gonna. It helps your direction or
focus?
whatever.
Well,
No, that's everybody. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's just like this innate thing we do. So you turn off the music and you hear boom, boom, boom. When you're like, okay, which direction is that coming from? That's looking for it with friends, whether you're in the warehouse or the desert, like.
And that's sick. I wonder if you can if that's maybe even relatable to some primal stuff as well too, because flashback to Observe, which happened a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I went to the back room, to the back side of the venue,
Mm-hmm.
More in the shadows, more dark, whatever, and I just kind of took everything in and looked at the bigger picture in a sense.
Yeah.
And saw people just freaking out, just dancing, just going ham, screaming, yelling, the drums, the visuals, and I'm like, yo, this is sick. This is like some of the purest, most rawest, human,
Yeah, the last two observes were insane. The first one they did, the first one, and then half airplane hangar or whatever.
Oh,
the hell,
yes,
that
was, yeah.
The vibes, I mean, both parties, the vibes were on point, but the first one was because they had just, were doing something different now. It was
the first one.
Wow,
the first one was super dope for us, but we had a little personal experience. But we can't go into detail with that. But the people who were there. You got to experience it most likely as well too. But yeah. But
oh man, I got so drunk.
Now we stayed there to the end. We hoped
Came back actually.
Yeah, we left. We had to leave. Came back. And then
stayed there to the end. Me the story.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's everybody was like, "Hey, you're back. You're sick. You're back." I'm like, "Yeah,
that friend will never be invited back again."
No.
Woo! Sorry, I just have to.
That's all I'll say about that.
All right, but
I threw him off track.
No. No. Observe parties, they get lit. Yeah. They're dope, and thank you to the OGs and everything. But so we were talking about your radio show, Distant Rumble. So I like that. That's so sick. That is. We are searching for that distant rumble as we near the party. We near the destination. And you were talking about the Stealth Crew, and you mentioned about them throwing parties. Yeah. And you were attending their parties before I got you joined them. And you're also friends with this guy named Angel, who throws parties under Noise R Us. Yeah. Were they another party crew that were, for a cool minute, or do you remember, how did that friendship come about? I like hearing these stories about, people who used to throw parties. I think earlier you said how different party crews would come together. Yeah, he's been
throwing parties under the Noise R Us name for a while, like rave years. I think back then too, he was doing some stuff. Friendship came about just just meeting with him and here and there, and then DJing I've DJed for Angel and Noise R Us a bunch of times.
Okay. I think I've seen you in those lineups.
Yeah, when he brought out Atsy Tun at one of his desert events, and I volunteered to be the transportation. That was one long weekend, let me tell you. I had to find him at the airport, take him to the hotel. He needed time to shower up.
And take him to the desert.
And then we had to go from like LAX to the freaking desert, dude. It was a mission. Straight up mission.
Mojave?
Mojave? No, well, isn't it all Mojave?
I don't know.
That's not my friend, my DJ friend Kim, also named Mojave.
And a shout out. Hey, shout out to Mojave.
Shout out to Kim.
But,
helping him out do that. You know, it was cool to like. It's always cool when you get time to like kick it with the artist and stuff and meet him and talk and stuff, which I've also done for the guys at Techno State too. I was also doing some transportation for them, like for some of their events. Like,
yeah,
I've got to pick up from the hotel, drive to the event, and drive back. Mr. Bazmui.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's super cool,
whoa.
dude. Super cool. Like really personable, down to earth.
Do you pronounce it Mord or M-O-R-D? The label?
I say Mord.
Mord.
Yeah. People say M-O-R-D?
No, I was just I was gonna say Mord, but I'm like, dang, what if I say Mord and they're like, bro, it's M-O-R-D. I don't know. So.
Is he for real? N-E-R-D.
Hey. Okay. Damn, Bass Moy.
Yeah.
He's coming back?
Yeah, he's coming back for
Dirty Epic and Synthetic Minds Party,
Synthetic Dirty Epic.
With Ansem and LA Local on it.
I've seen Ansem twice, and he's,
I haven't never seen him, but I've just seen videos, and I've bought some of his tracks. So
I seen Ansem play while he was pissed.
He was whoa.
Yeah, like mad, like
really.
Yeah.
Was it going through because of the promoters or something?
The promoter that booked him at the time botched his LA debut.
Ooh.
Like hard.
Oh.
Like he was supposed to have like an hour or a little bit more than an hour. No, he's supposed to have an hour live PA set.
Yeah.
And they botched it. Like he ended up actually playing maybe 30 minutes. But it was an aggressive
30 minutes.
I'm in a bad mood 30 minutes, which was awesome.
You could tell on his face and everything.
Oh yeah, you could tell on his face when he was playing. Like me and my homegirl Sarah Stromberg, shout out.
Yeah.
Me and her were just like we couldn't believe what was happening. And then when he finally started to play, like you could tell he was visibly upset. And that's how he played, like just aggressive as fuck.
Yo, that's sick. That's interesting. You know, for the most part, you always see or you hear about people like, yo, that have so much fun playing. You know,
yeah.
I never hear stories about somebody DJing while mad. But that should be. I'm saying it should be common because everybody's mad. But that's an acceptable human emotion.
Yeah.
So I can see maybe somebody.
And then the second time I seen him play, he wasn't mad. Like the first time.
He was like more like maybe like mad, but just like
someone go over there and poke him with the stick.
Oh, you were like you preferred him to be mad.
Yeah. He killed.
That's sick. That's tight.
I've also got to drive around Adam X.
Ooh,
that was fun.
That's
cool.
Sick. Was that for a Techno State party?
That's for a Techno State too.
Dude, Techno State was
Adam X. I drove for Bazmui, and I picked up Orphix.
Oh yeah,
cool people, really nice people, who are coming back also.
And in Techno State, that was a party crew. Were there other party crews that you can name, like maybe Techno State, the Droid Behavior crew? Of course, the Droid Behavior has been doing it for.
Techno State, their crew predates like Droid Behavior and them because they were throwing parties at like rave parties, like old school 90s, mid 90s, early 90s rave stuff.
As Techno State?
As Techno State, yeah. Techno State and another RTD, like it's another crew. Yeah, RTD. Yeah, Rave Till Dawn.
Is that what that sticker that we saw at the?
Oh, that's why I was like, oh shit, RTD.
Yeah.
I knew they
were. So I mean, for techno, it was Droid, Deeper Moods. Deeper Moods threw some great parties too. That guy, he doesn't do it anymore. I don't even know if he DJs anymore. Really cool guy. Who else? Yeah, I think I sent some of the names before. The Compression, Rob Tronic. Shout out to Rob.
What about Ron Decor? I know he's Hard House. He was
he's hardcore.
Hardcore.
He's hardcore. Yeah, hardcore gabber.
Okay.
Yeah, rave scene. Yeah. He's always done his thing. And
Okay.
yeah. The
And
record store
and I forgot
forever.
to ask you because now that I mentioned Run Decor,
Mhm.
when you were shopping for vinyl, where would you
Oh, when
go
I
look
when,
for your
yeah, when I was
gems?
first coming up DJing, it was
your records.
My main record store was Exodus in Montebello,
Mhm.
off of the 60. I'm trying to remember the exit. I can't remember the exit, but anyway, it's not there anymore. But
Mhm.
I wish I would have took a picture of it while the sign was still up. But yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I
they
was
had
at-
like house and techno.
Yeah, they had pretty much everything. There's a lot of hard house was big at the time, so they had like full walls of hard house, domestics for like $6. Can you imagine $6? It was like good prices. Like
Yeah, me.
So it was Exodus. Actually, I had vinyl before I actually had turntables.
You're collecting before you even were able to
Kind of
play.
like, yeah, I guess Elijah. Yeah, so
Elijah.
I would,
Well, I just had turntables before, so but
Yeah, but that is
what happened to them, sir?
gone.
God. Yeah, so my mom would drive me out to the record store, and she'd just chill in the car, and I go inside a vinyl shop.
yes, time.
So it was Exodus, a record store called Tough Guy. Then on the Melrose, you have Beat Nonstop and DMC. Street Sounds here and there, but yeah,
hey,
definitely.
Street Sounds.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sir Roscoe. That's his label. But it's obvious that you've seen the
Yeah,
the LA scene change and grow, and so as
Yeah.
you've grown, you've evolved throughout the time.
Yeah.
What's your perspective in the current state of
the current the techno scene here in LA, it's strong.
yeah.
The only issues I see with it, and I echo to what some of Drum Cells said in a recent interview, that it's kind of hit a saturation point where you got all these crews throwing parties
Yeah.
every single weekend. It wasn't
Yeah.
like that. It wasn't like that when when Droid was doing it, when they weren't every single weekend. And because of that, I mean, it exposes you a little bit in terms of like cops out there looking for bus parties if they're every single weekend. If they weren't as frequent,
Yeah.
they wouldn't be looking for them as frequently. They just could have got other stuff to do.
Yeah, true. So what do you see in your future, as an artist, as an artist in Los Angeles?
Well, I definitely got to get on, the producer thing, because
Do you think that's a vital thing, as an artist, as a
now more so
DJ,
than,
as
now
a DJ? I'm gonna say not even as an artist, because as a DJ.
As a DJ, yes. Like there was a point in time where you didn't have to produce like you do now, because a lot of people, there's people that have come up that they came up and got big based on the talent of them DJing. Like they were so great that they end up getting booked and they become a legend or whatever. Not now, if you want to get noticed, you do have to produce. There's almost no way around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. I feel
Which is it's a double-sided like sword, because I mean there are great producers who are
Yeah.
shitty DJs,
Yeah.
and there are shitty DJs who
Vice
are
versa.
great producers, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, yeah.
I feel it.
So you could put out a great tracks and then get booked to DJ and you're awful. But
I've heard that,
I
yeah.
love his tracks, but if you heard him
Yeah.
DJ,
Yeah.
it's just awful.
Cool thing that we have a dope producer here in the house right next to me, Elijah. Dope ass DJ and producer. So,
Nice.
but do you have any upcoming gigs?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be playing the 10-year Noise Arrest anniversary in August with for Angel Noise Arrest. It's supposed to be a 2-day.
That'll be ahead of
Yeah, it's supposed to be a 2-day
when it
event.
releases.
Friday and Saturday it's supposed to run.
Okay.
And in September I'm supposed to be playing one of the Panic parties.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
So that'll be
Nice.
fun.
Sick. We'll
I have
be
not
there.
played one of those yet, but I've been to a bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah, we remember.
Yeah.
I think we talked. The last time we went, I think Elijah and I got pretty lit.
Off the K.
Dude, what did you say? What did you say? Don't.
He said they got jelly legs.
yes, jelly legs and jelly mind, bro. I was like, what's going on? Got a little hot, like a little bit uncomfortable, low key, and I was like, SOS. But
He was outside under a fan. That's good.
Yeah. Any projects? Maybe anything else with like maybe Distant Rumble or?
Yeah.
Again, you want to do a quick plug for that, so that people.
Looking for people to help in doing the podcast. It's only a 1 hour show.
Okay.
So either I'll do it or I'll find young gentlemen like Elijah, or I want to get you on too, or maybe I don't know if you guys want to go 2x4, or
we can do an
or one can DJ without the other.
You know, because
or do you guys have to DJ together?
we hold hands. We hold hands.
I seen that.
You guys didn't know that, but we hold hands when we do the and sets. So.
I seen that.
And we pass each other the blunt.
Shave. I seen you guys like patting each other on the butt like baseball players.
Yeah, that's on some like low key. That's after every transition. Like if anybody wants to like see like when we finish a transition or whatever, we signal to each other with a pat on the butt.
They would stop, turn to each other, look deeply in the eyes, and then fist bump.
And people show off rough now, but
yeah, I got to get on the producer thing. I know that.
I feel it. That's something I'm on the same boat right now.
Learning Ableton.
Are you gonna be using Ableton?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the easiest to do because like, if I want to work with most producers use it. So if I want to work with other people, they already got an ALS file, and it just makes it easier than if like I was using Fruity Loops or whatever the hell. There's so many others. There's Bitwig. There's I could go on. There's so many others.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
But there's that Splice account, right, where people can use that to, I guess, collaborate, across different DAWs.
I think I've seen it pop up in my feed, but I've never really looked into it. Yeah.
I feel it though, but man, I
definitely want to get some hardware though. I want to like.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, so what up some I can't even pronounce synthesizers.
Yeah, I want to.
Damn son.
I want to get hardware so I can, instead of like, generating, kick drums and sounds and things within the DAW and the VSTs itself. I want to build like my own sound library from the hardware that I'm using to be used any which way I can use it in Ableton. Because you're generating it from I like the tactile feel of like drum sequencers and drum machines and synthesizers.
When you were DJing like several years ago and everything, when you first got started, did you ever get your hands on any synthesizers back then?
Synthesizers, no.
Any drum machines, I've had hardware.
I've had some samplers here and there. I had a Boss sampler a long time ago. I wish I would have kept it. But it cost me all the money I had in the world at that time. So once I got it, I had like buyer's remorse. I'm like, I'm broke. I know. And I tried using it, and I was like, got frustrated with it, and I took it back to Guitar Center. Okay, just because I wish I did. Yeah, but I was just like, this is awesome, but like I have no money.
And
like
I don't know how to use this.
Every penny, every cent to get.
I'm having a hard time trying to get this down. I feel it though.
Then I returned it, and I ended up getting a set of Techniques.
Hey, whoa! I like that.
I've probably been through like throughout since I started DJing. I've probably been through like 4 or 5 pairs.
What?
Yeah, not like like I wreck these pairs and I toss them away.
Do you have 4 pairs?
That'd be nice.
Because I have a pair.
I have a pair right now, but yeah, the last pair I got was in 2006. Great price too, $600 for the pair.
Oh, nice.
Techniques M3D, which is one of the best models they made. Yeah, the M3Ds. It came with Ortofon needles. I think it came with the dust shells and everything.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh? Sure, needles. They discontinued those too, right?
Yeah, that's. I don't think that was smart. They should at least keep producing the needles themselves.
That was crazy. Oh, because Shure everything completely, like headphones and everything too, or just
no. Well, I mean, they took away the whole cartridge line is gone. They're not making it anymore. But I don't think they're making the actual stylus, the tips.
The anymore. Actual little needle part.
But they're Japanese companies now that they're providing needles for those cartridges, like the M44.7s,
and
the ones that the
they're like same compatible.
Yeah, they're compatible, nearly the same quality, but yeah, you can only, if you find brand new stock somewhere, dead stock, maybe you can get brand new ones, but they're not making them anymore.
Damn,
which is kind of whack. Like they still make all their other stuff like headphones and mics.
Oh, okay, so it was just Shit.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think we reached the end of the interview and a little conversation for right now.
It's been fun.
Is there anything that was not mentioned that you think it's worth mentioning to the listeners out there,
No, just
to the world?
no, I think I said everything I gotta say. Yeah. Techno scene, I love it. Still love going out. I mean, I'm no spring chicken, but people trip out when I tell them how much I go out. And
Yeah, dude. I remember for the Synthetic Minds party that we DJ'd. Remember, I think it was already like 5 a.m., 5:30 or something. I look over and I see you still going ham. I'm like, oh shit, Jack is still
till the
here.
very
Fuck
end
yeah.
with me and my homegirl.
Yeah, you
We
do
were
it, but
just
you
like-
do that a lot as well too.
Yeah.
That's something that you do. Like, damn, dude. Damn,
Mhm.
that's sick. So that's dope to see you. You're still you're a party warrior, you're a dance warrior,
Yeah.
a DJ warrior. And, we hope to.
age is just a number, and it's
Yeah.
just something that denotes like how old you are.
Yeah, that's what I see.
But it doesn't mean nothing.
outside of the rave, party culture. People really focusing on, their age and what they're accomplished. And they
Yeah.
measure it to the social norms out there.
Yeah.
And when I see, the relationships that I've built in the rave community, in the party community, the techno community,
Mhm.
it's more open minded. Everybody's just kind of like, and that's the cool part about it.
Yeah.
Y'all are beyond normal.
Yeah.
But
Hence
so-
audio odd. That's how I came with odd. Like the stuff I've always played was always harder.
Okay,
than
yes.
the things that were being played like in the scene. Like so, I always consider my style kind of odd.
And
but now it's caught up where like people are playing bangers.
It's already
people
like
are like 134 and
I
they
see
end
what
at
you're saying.
138.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
remember
whoa.
one time you were played at an exchange, LA. I think in the gallery.
Yeah.
I remember Sarosco's like, damn, Jack, don't give a fuck. He's going ham to everybody. He's
I was
giving it to
closing
them.
it out. I'm like, I might
oh,
as
okay, you
well.
were okay. For some reason, I thought he was just maybe like assuming that you were just kind of like going in the middle. You just said, you know what, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna just go ham right now. Pow, pow, pow.
Yeah, they were closing. They closed the gallery, I think, at 2. So I was like,
You
I
know
had
what?
like
Fuck
1 to
it, let
2.
me go.
I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. Fuck
That's
it.
sick. Okay, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's time. Well, we hope to see you. Keep killing
definitely.
it and everything as well too.
Same to you
We'll-
guys too.
We'll keep a lookout for your productions.
Your
Like you said
synthetic,
here.
your guys' performance was dope, dude.
Oh yeah, again, thank you for recording
Yeah,
that
no
because
problem, dude.
because if it wasn't for you, it would not come out next month. Well, actually, next month is June. It's July. My bad. What am I doing? It's July because we're in June.
He's lit right now.
So in August, yeah,
No, it's good.
but yeah, so dude. So thank you again, actually, for letting me talk to you,
Oh, no
for
problem, dude.
this hour
Thanks for
plus
having
and
me.
everything. But I'm excited for your mix and everybody
Most
else as well too. So
Yeah.
shout out for Elijah for letting us record and for being
Thank you, Elijah.
here, co-hosting it.
Alright.
But before we sign off, actually, let's tell the listeners where they can find you. Give us your Instagram, your Twitter, your SoundCloud, your Facebook, the basics.
Facebook, Oddio J. It's spelled Oddio J.
Space J.
Space. Instagram is audio_J. I also have a Mixcloud. If you just search my name, Oddio J, Oddio space J. I have Mixcloud. I'm also on Hear This At, which is it almost looks similar to SoundCloud.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Got the next platform.
it's like an alternative because SoundCloud was clamping down on copyright.
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah.
So yeah, I just recently made a YouTube.
Yeah, that's why I have
page.
Mixcloud as well too.
Yeah,
Mixcloud is
YouTube,
smooth.
Oddio J. It's all. It's all
okay.
just search Oddio J. It should pop
Yeah.
up, no problem. Because
Also, Resident Advisor, I've seen that as well
yeah,
too. So
I have a Resident Advisor one too. Yeah, and also check out stealthnights.com. I'm also on the website. That's the crew I run with today. Stealth.
yeah, Stealth.
Yeah.
Shout out to Stealth Nights. Shout out to
Stealth,
Fnoob
Charles
Techno
X,
Radio.
Winslow, Stephen Andrew.
Yeah. Alrighty, man. Well, that was it. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right. Signing off, y'all.
Later.